Roman Reigns is delusional.
The Rock says, The Rock says.
Before we get into the video, we need to have a talk. You see this number? 96%. 96% of you are watching videos and you're not subscribed. Do you have any idea what that looks like? It looks like you're watching the porn from outside in the bushes. Don't be a creep. Pull up a seat, and as long as you got positive vibes, you are welcome to join the Flash family. It's all love over here. It's obviously you're supposed to be joining the family, right? That's why you keep on coming back, and that's why you keep seeing us in your algorithm. We're calling you. The universe is aligning. So go ahead and smack the like button, electrify the subscribe button, and join the family. Now, back to the video. Welcome back to FPW, the Flash Pro Wrestling Show. I am your host, Chris Flash, and here we talk pro wrestling. You guys blew up my previous videos talking about how does Roman rebuild the bloodline, so I figured I'd make a part 2. And in this video, we're going to be talking about everything that's happened from, we'll pick it up right at Bad Blood up until now. Just give you guys a catch up if you've missed anything, and yeah, we'll go from there. So as you guys know, Roman teamed with Cody Rhodes to take on Jacob Fatu and Solo Sikoa. This was the start of a very emotional swing, I feel like, in this. This was the first time Roman acknowledged, no pun intended, that everything has been taken away from him. He mentioned that they took Paul Heyman from him, they took Jimmy Uso from him, but I feel like the new bloodline didn't really become a threat until now. Up until this point, Roman has just come down and does whatever he pretty much wants to him, and leaves them laying by himself every single time. And so them having this match with Cody didn't feel like it was really warranted. I don't feel like we really needed it. I mean, it was a fine match, and it was a vehicle for Jimmy Uso to come back. But I don't know. This match was, Cody had already beaten Solo so many times. Roman has already beaten down Solo so many times. So I didn't understand why they felt the need to put them in the tag team for this match, aside from just trying to put butts in seats. So from a storyline perspective, like I said, Jimmy Uso comes back, and Roman still has this aura, if you will, that he's above it all. You have to acknowledge him. He's the OTC, yada, yada, yada. Well, and I've said this before, at what point does the understanding of how dire the situation is rings a bell for him? And it dawned on me, Roman is delusional. That's why it hasn't clicked. Yeah, I mean, he understands that they took everything from him, but he doesn't understand that they could take him out at any given time as well. And I feel like that's the part that we need to tie up, at least in Roman's head and the motivation of his character. So as I said, Jimmy returns, and for whatever reason, he's saying, hey, we need help, we need help. But nothing was ever shown that they really did. I mean, yeah, Jimmy got taken out. And so maybe from his perspective, he's looking at it like, well, you don't know what they're capable of because you haven't felt their wrath yet. I was jumped. But every single time the bloodline really did anything was always in a numbers game mentality, right? So they jumped Jimmy, took him out. They took out Paul Heyman, but Paul Heyman's not a wrestler. And you got Jacob Fatu and one of the greatest tag teams ever on your side. You're going to take out Paul Heyman pretty easily. And yet they would jump other people just to kind of, I guess, like get their street cred up or get the heat put on them. But when it came to Roman, they couldn't stand toe-to-toe with him. I mean, Jacob had a moment that kind of showcased how powerful he was 1 week on SmackDown. But I don't feel like that's enough when you're still letting Roman come out and beat y'all down. I don't feel like Roman should have ever been able to beat them down by himself. Maybe on a I outsmarted you type of way. But why does Roman need to come out there and jump the new bloodline if I'm supposed to believe that this new bloodline is a threat to everything? I never even believed that Solo was going to win the championship, and that was something that never would have happened under Roman. So they haven't done a great job in making me believe that Roman feels any different than what he did when he lost the championship. So when he lost the championship and he didn't come back and he's seen what this new bloodline has been doing to his family, you walk back in like you've already completed the hero's journey. Like nothing mentally has happened to you. You're still the guy. Now maybe at SummerSlam when he came back, okay, that's a moment, right? That I feel like that moment would have been the greatest time to showcase whatever emotional state that he is in, start the pieces of that, and begin to move off of that. Not come back as the exact same way that you already were, except you're a good guy now, and you're just gonna come back and take everything that you. It shouldn't be that simple. And that brings me to my next point. How simple it's been for Roman to just get everything back. There hasn't really been any effort. Like I said, he got beat down by the bloodline a couple times. And all of that really started happening when Jimmy finally opened up his mind to be like, we're not the ones, even though they've been beating these new ones down. We're not the ones anymore, and we need help. This new bloodline is dangerous, yada, yada, yada. And there's one person that we know that can help them. Okay, so immediately you know they're going to say Jey Uso, but Jay's on Raw. So that adds an interesting dynamic. Like, okay, are we just going to go over there and just talk to him? Like, what type of roadblocks are going to be in the way for us to get in touch with Jey? Is he going to have to come here? Would there be some type of tournament that would cause him to eventually come here and face somebody on this show? They could have did it that way to really stretch all of this out. Make the reuniting of all three of them really mean something. Like everything was, I had to fight for everything. And I feel like that's what Roman needs to be in. This is just my perspectives. I feel like that's the mode Roman needs to be in. I need to feel like he's losing his mind. He's lost everything. Like the fact that he wanted everyone to acknowledge him comes from an insecurity, theoretically, that of how he was so booed when he was a babyface the first go round. He was force fed to us, and a lot of people didn't like him. They kept trying to make him who he wasn't until Roman took over and was like, no, I'm gonna be who I am, and we're gonna take this industry over. He was right, but the interesting part of Roman that entire time was not the fact that he was so cool or any of that stuff. To me, it was the fact that he was so insecure that he needed to be that. He needed to become the tribal chief. He needed you to acknowledge him. So when Jimmy said, I'm the only one in the family that still acknowledges you, that should have been the crushing, almost send that man into depression. Like, oh snap, like everybody's really gone. And it's kind of hard to kind of show that on TV also, because every time he comes out, everyone throws up the ones. But I feel like it should be, yeah, y'all acknowledge me, but I need my family to acknowledge me, because that's where it started. That's what all this was started from. You not acknowledging me, and I need you to acknowledge me. It's a very great mindset for a heel to be in. But how do you switch that over to a babyface? Well, let's pick back up to where Jimmy and Jay finally reunite. Now, the first time they did it, Jimmy goes to Raw, and he's trying to get Jay's attention, and Jay's not trying to hear it. He's like, bro, I told you, no, we're not doing this. No. And I'm like, yeah, that's how it should be. Make it difficult. You should just show up and be like, hey, what's up, bro? We good? Yeah, man, we straight. You don't want to eat nothing like that. No, bro. Now, Jay keeps this mindset throughout. Jimmy, however, I'm just gonna assume that they're never gonna make sense of like the Usos breaking up in the first place, because Jimmy is like, bro, like you gotta squash this beef with Roman. No, he needs to get this beef with you. You cost him the championship. All this could have been over with, but you came in and kicked Jay, your twin, to help your cousin, even though you saw that he was manipulating him before you even joined the bloodline. But whatever. So Jimmy thinks that Jay is going to be so easily not convinced, if you will, to rejoin the bloodline. So he takes it upon himself to go get him. Didn't happen. Okay, perfect. That Friday on SmackDown, Jay just shows up smiling in the face of Jimmy like, hey, what's up, bro? Hold on. What happened? Like, did y'all get on a phone call and fix things? Did y'all go out to dinner? Did y'all wives smack y'all upside the head and be like, get your ish together and figure this thing out? Because there were some story beats that I did not see. There was moments like I don't know where he went from I don't want to see you, kick it with you, talk to you, skate with you, nothing, man, on Monday to he ha ha and dapping up and stuff on Friday. Now I feel like you trying to mess with the intelligence of your viewer. You trying to make us feel like we crazy. And so he changes his whole demeanor when he looks at Roman. And Roman's like, hey man, look, we proud of you, bro. You know, all that. Bro, are you not gonna say you sorry? You just think everything is supposed to be cool because you ain't got that championship no more and Solo out here wilding. Bro, where's your accountability? Why ain't nobody holding Roman accountable? Why ain't nobody asking, like telling Roman, bro, like you did a lot of wild stuff back then, bro. Like, yeah, like you put the family on your back and you did all this stuff for the family. Salute to you for that. But bro, like you was wild. You was really wilding. You done called Kevin Owens' dad you done called Kevin Owens' father a coward. You done beat up Rey Mysterio's kid and Rey Mysterio. You done almost killed your cousin in the Hell in a Cell match. You done manipulated people. You done caused, bro, you was really out here wilding. And nobody's saying anything. Everyone is using that as like an accolade. And don't get me wrong, that championship reign will go down in history as one of the best ever. Roman will go down as one of the best ever. But we're talking about the character on TV, and he is supposed to be doing a Fall of Olympus storyline. Why is no one holding him accountable for his sins? You can't just be a good guy because you came back and you look cool. Like that's my only thing. Like, and that's why I'm just feeling like he's a delusional character. But I'm waiting for someone to bring it to his attention that he's been wilding. So Jay kind of opens up the door for that. Jay comes and he's like, "Yo, bro, look, we got our problems. We gonna have to go to therapy. All right, this ain't gonna fall off. But lil bro is tripping. We gotta put that in its place. We got a responsibility to the family. You understand, I understand, he understand. But we gonna do this as equals. We not doing no do boy. It ain't tribal chief and then the Usos. No, it's Roman, it's Jay, it's Jimmy, and we're gonna go and we're gonna be equal. So are you acknowledging the fact that Roman's not a tribal chief? Because if Roman is the OG tribal chief, Jimmy acknowledges Roman as that, but y'all are all equal. So is there a point in acknowledgement other than just saying I respect you? Or I fall in line? Because I feel like the acknowledging part is falling in line. Whenever whenever Solo is like, you're gonna acknowledge me, that means you're gonna fall in line. When Roman said it, it means you're gonna fall in line. So are they also saying I don't acknowledge you? I respect you, I see you, but I don't acknowledge you. You aren't my chief. You're the tribal chief, but you're not my chief. I don't know. These are just questions. It's interesting to me, like what that character beat meant. And so I get it. They're trying to speed things up to get to Crown Jewel because they want the OG bloodline on Crown Jewel. So they kind of got themselves into a corner. I get that, but taking the outside part, like taking the show business part out of it, from a story perspective, there still needs to be some reconciliation for Roman's actions in the past. And I feel like now other people are getting punished. Like Cody Rhodes is in an interesting spot with Kevin Owens and eventually Randy Orton because of Roman's decisions and how he's been moving. So now that after Bad Blood, The Rock comes back, and so now there's questions there. What does The Rock have to do with all this? The assumption is that The Rock is the one that brought in the new bloodline or has been funding the new bloodline, but that doesn't change what Roman is. Roman doesn't seem weak. Roman doesn't seem beaten. Roman doesn't seem unsure. Roman seems like he is very sure of who he is, with or without the title. So what did the title mean as much? He made it seem like when he had it that this is it. Like this is the thing that makes me the tribal chief, the head of the table, the provider of this family. So now not only do you not have the championship, you ain't even got the Ula Fala. So you're not the head of the table. Regardless of how Solo got it or whether he deserves it or not is irrelevant. He has it. And you don't have the championship. Somebody else has it. And at this point, Cody Rhodes might as well be a tribal chief because he done beat both of them. I would say at Crown Jewel, if you haven't watched that episode of my predictions, I'll leave the card up here somewhere. But Roman needs to lose this match at Crown Jewel. I would even go as far as to say that Roman needs to get pinned at Crown Jewel. Let me see the cracks in the armor. Let me see that he's really fallen. And you got a month to tell the story until War Games where you might could give him a win back. Or I think what even make that even more interesting is Roman loses here. He gets pinned. He goes into War Games a little bit unsure of himself. And to prove that he can do this, he starts the match. And he makes it all the way through, yada, yada, yada. OG Bloodline wins, but it's Jay that gets the pinfall. And Roman goes for multiple pinfalls, but he can't put him away. And Jay gets the pinfall. Ultimately, I think we're going towards a possible Jey Uso tribal chief bloodline at some point. It's always been Jay. So do they pull the trigger on that? And how long does that go? Like how long does that bloodline exist? What does that bloodline even look like? Could this be a moment where like the Usos are retired, Roman's retired and whatnot, but down the road 5, 6, 7, 10 years from now, Jay just pops back up and he's like, I'm the tribal chief. He doesn't actually wrestle, but he's the tribal chief. Maybe. That'd be kind of cool, I think. Let me know what y'all think. Would y'all want to see a Jey Uso tribal chief? Maybe. Maybe a blue Ulafala. No, not a blue Ulafala. You did that thing one time when you came out with that on and it blew the internet up for a little bit, but let's not do that again. Let's keep the Ulafala, the red one, and just call it a day. So, yeah, now we're back here at Crown Jewel. Roman seemingly has his OG bloodline back together minus one. Sammy's gonna have to be. Sammy's gonna be interesting because Sammy is not family, nor did he ever truly want to be family. Sammy only joined the Bloodline for his protection. He didn't want to get beat down by the Bloodline, so he's like, I'm gonna go into the Bloodline. We got to stop thinking that Sammy joined the Bloodline to try to break it apart from the inside. No, it was not like that. As a matter of fact, the only reason why he attacked Roman is because of what he was going to do to Kevin, and that was his friend. It was never, if Kevin never got involved, Sammy never would have left. I mean, if you got the strongest force in the industry behind you, no one can touch you. So he basically played Roman. So Roman's gonna has a lot of convincing in order to trust Sammy. But the interesting thing is, if Roman is in a mental state where he's not sure of himself, you can take that out of it. You can make Jay do all the work. Hey, I'm gonna get you on the team because we need you, and I'm gonna convince Roman. But Roman is unsure of himself. So how can he be sure of anybody else? So there's really interesting wrinkles that can be told in this story, but I think it all starts when Roman is held accountable in some form or fashion. And that's it, guys. I hope y'all enjoyed this video. Leave down in the comments how you will further book the Bloodline story and what your thoughts are about where we are in the Bloodline saga. They've been telling a great story so far. We still have a lot of chapters to go through. When does Paul Heyman come back? What is The Rock's thing here? And how do we get to WrestleMania? Are we gonna have Roman versus The Rock? Will Roman win the Royal Rumble in order to get to WrestleMania and The Rock is somehow already champion? Where do we go from here? But like I said, I'm glad you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure you smack that like button and you acknowledge the subscribe button and join the family. We're growing, and you guys have gotten me to a end of the year goal twice as fast. We're coming up on 200 subscribers. We might be over 200 subscribers by the time this video comes out. So thank you guys so much. And yeah, you make a guy who just likes to watch and talk about wrestling actually feel pretty good about this whole genre. So again, thank you guys for watching. Leave a comment down below how you would book the Bloodline, and I'll see you down the road. And as always, be safe, be blessed, be kind. Peace.
The Rock says,